What's up, guys? Hope you all are doing well. We are in my gym. I have been getting a lot of questions about new equipment that I've added to the gym, questions on different pieces, so I figured we would go through and do a updated gym tour. So this right here where I'm standing is basically Dumbbell Central. I have talked to you guys and showed you guys when I got my set of York round head dumbbells. Absolutely beautiful. Maybe my favorite dumbbells of all time. Very, very close with the York Globe dumbbells. This is my original set of dumbbells, and I got that literally when I was training in my parents' garage. It was posted up. It was a gym that was kind of going out of business, so I picked all those dumbbells up, and they have served me well, without a doubt. In the corner here, these are my Watson custom dumbbells. So you can see the the Shaw strength plates on the end. Those go all the way up to 230 pounds. So those are awesome. Obviously, always sitting in the corner, and those are the big boy weights for sure. And then these are the York Globes, which I think historically speaking, you talk about old time strongman. Those are the pictures you see with the Globe dumbbells, and there's just something about the way those dumbbells feel. There's no other way to really say that. It's just incredible the way they feel in your hands. And if all those dumbbells could tell a story, it would be pretty fascinating. So free motion, dual cable cross. I feel like this is a super functional piece. I do have one of these here, and I do have one up in the mountains. So the equipment that is in the mountains you're not seeing, but this is kind of obviously the main gym, and that's a secondary. So here are new pieces. This row I kind of added on the outside of the dumbbell section. So these are hammer strength MTS, and this is a bicep and tricep machine. And as you can see, they actually have individual weight stacks on them. So you sit down and then you can do one arm at a time with these machines, which is very unique and different. The tricep, you get to work on each arm individually, and again, it's a different grip as well. So something that I wanted to add, I do like the tricep. I would say I'm more partial to the bicep machine, which I'll show you guys when we get over there. Speaking of bicep machines, this is the Iron Core Bicep Pro. Tyler Hobson made this for me. He did have to customize it a bit just to fit my body. The neat part with this machine is actually the handles. And so he made these handles custom for me. So as you can see, I can fully rotate as I come around and do this movement. So if I want to do more of a hammer curl, I can do that. If I want to be, more pronated and come up, which is actually serving me pretty well with some of the arm wrestling training that I'm doing. So it's a very unique thing. You're not stuck. A lot of machines, what they'll do is you'll get stuck in one position with the handles and you can't move. And so you either fit the machine or you don't fit the machine. So with this one, it is really awesome. A great feel again, and the strength curve is awesome. So that's one that I've actually really enjoyed training with. This is more of a kind of side pressure arm wrestling device machine that I have used as well. So you basically get set up here on the table, and then you can do different moves with this. So this is something that I've incorporated a little bit on specific arm wrestling training days. Body Masters Standing Preacher Curl. This one is awesome. Again, something that they don't make any longer. Body Masters, for people that are in the equipment world, they made some really good piece of equipment. The neat part of this bench, and the reason I like it so much, is it'll adjust very high for me, so I can get into whatever position I want to get into to train my curls with this. Again, great piece. I was really excited to add that in the collection. So let's actually go over here back to the hammer strength MTS bicep. So with this machine, this is quite literally unlike any other bicep machine. And again, it's really neat because you have the individual stacks of weight with this. And then when you get in, you can focus on one arm at a time, but the position that you're actually in when you're doing your curls is unique, because if you look at where the humerus is pointed up. So I get to focus on and feel completely different with this curl compared to again, like the Bicep Pro where you're at a downward angle with the humerus. So again, super unique feel, individual arms. What I will say is the weight stacks are a little bit light, so I do add a pin to add more weight to the movement. But again, a phenomenal thing. I really have enjoyed having that piece and really enjoy it. Something, unfortunately, they do not make any longer. So this is an iron core standing shrug here. And this is a unique one. And a lot of people are gonna say, oh, shrug, you don't need a shrug machine, right? You could just grab dumbbells, grab a barbell, whatever. This is super unique because you can do individual arm shrugs, but with the other side loaded, right? So if I wanna focus on my right with that left being loaded, it's just a completely different feel to this, and you can manipulate your body a little bit as well. Tyler put on some thicker handles for me on this machine, and also he custom built this much, much bigger than normal. So where this pivots is actually at my hip. So it's custom made for me, which is super unique and awesome. And that's something I didn't know how well I would like the standing shrug, but I've thrown it into almost every single workout where I could throw it in, and it's been awesome. Now we get to something that I'm very much in love with. This is a Cybex wrist and forearm machine here. So several different movements that you can do with this, but the stack of weights is there. So you can do a basic wrist roller forward and backward. And then based on the handle, you can pronate or supinate with this, which is again, super neat. So really, really useful with the arm wrestling training. You know, going through, and then on the other side, you have ulnar deviation and radial deviation. So it's based on essentially kind of like a rise type of movement, and you're working the other side. So just trying to get the wrist and forearm as strong as you possibly can. Something that's rare, hard to find for sure, but a very, very good piece of equipment. This one is a shoulder internal external rotation machine. So this one is something that probably a lot of you, well, both of these machines, a lot of you will have probably never ever seen. So something like this, you can adjust the angle. Also, it's adjustable coming up, so you can set it to how tall you are. And basically just get your arm in here, and then you set yourself, and then I'm doing internal rotation. But again, I can change the angle a little bit based on where I'm at, and then all I would have to do is flip the pin to the other side, and then from here, I'm doing now external rotation. So again, I can position myself and do this really, really cool piece of equipment. Super rare overall, very, very hard to find. I can't believe that I found this machine in this condition. It's almost like it just got stored and didn't get used, because typically you would see a lot more wear on the pads and especially on the handle here, but really, really incredible. I mean, these are things that, again, with being into working out, being in the gym, these are things that are unique, they're different, they make training fun and exciting. So, you know, it's just something, you know, I like to add those type of pieces that make training fun. And speaking of pieces like that, this for sure is a new addition and a piece that I absolutely have loved. So what this is a Sorenex X Factor. The reason is, the name is an X Factor, is basically you're creating an X with how you are moving. So it's a ground-based push and pull movement. So you can, for example, train this just one arm and you can press just like that. Same thing if you flip this out of the way, you can go one arm and again do a row, which is a great movement. But the most awesome thing to do with this is to do a push and pull at the same time. So you would come up here, come here, get yourself set, and then you're pushing and pulling at the same time. So you're getting that rotation in. And this one, you can just go hard with it. I've really enjoyed having the band tension on there, really trying to accelerate and be forceful with the movement. But you know, this is something I think will carry over to just life in general. But for me, it's a lot of the arm wrestling, the rotational strength, building up that pulling strength from a standing position. this is a neat piece. And also, again, it really makes training fun. You know, any athlete, I think though, any person in general, that type of piece can be a fun thing to train on and have a big carryover. So in the corner, we've got the cable, a couple different cable units. One Rogue Fitness, super heavy duty, incredible piece of equipment here that I absolutely love. And then in the corner, you guys have seen that one before, without a doubt. That's my double stack seated row. Still to this day, never seen another one like that. So that is a mainstay, and I absolutely love having that piece of equipment in the gym. Smith machine, again, heavy duty Smith machine. This is brand new. This is a seated row, again from Iron Core, Tyler Hobson. With this one, this machine, the strength curve on this, if you have used a seated row, this, in my opinion, is the best. It does not get any better with the strength curve. So you can sit down here and put your feet up in the back. And then what I had Tyler do for me is I actually had him put these handles on so that I could rotate and pull in different angles, and I wasn't holding on to a handle. This machine is available with a multitude of different handles that come, but they're not rotating like this. So I wanted this for me because, again, with the carryover to the arm wrestling, I can put myself in certain spots and pull to certain spots. It's just incredible how the machine moves, and with these handles, like the connection that you feel. This is for sure one of my favorite machines to train on. Basically every back day, I have a hard time staying away from using this machine. So power rack is kind of the centerpiece here. So that's mounted down right there. I didn't actually mount the power rack down for a very long time because I have been a little indecisive. And if you guys have seen training videos, that type of stuff, I've moved stuff around frequently, without a doubt. This pull down, one of the first pieces of equipment that I bought, I told the story before, this pad being ripped, I actually dropped a axle. So I was clean and pressing an axle, and I dropped that way back in my parents' garage and ripped that up, and I haven't fixed it on purpose, just as that reminder. So we got our bands and chains. This Marpo mag rack, this one is something really cool. So we attached it to the power rack here, and this is actually a magnetic resistance. So with this, you can do a variety of different movements, but as I come up here, I get a push resistance, and then I also get a pull resistance. So for something like I'm doing a shoulder press right now, when you are trying to use this, and really, I would say almost as a finisher has been probably my favorite. So I can load this thing up, and then I'm pushing and pulling, pushing and pulling, pushing and pulling, pushing and pulling. Getting the microphone caught on that metal. So with this, in order to change the resistance, all I have to do is take this dial and move it up or move it down. So the neat part is if I'm training by myself, I don't have to spend a lot of time changing the weights at all. It's all right there. And if I'm doing some type of drop set, or like I said, kind of like a finisher, I can just jump right into it, go really hard, adjust if I want to do a drop set to finish off. But this is also great for warming up, especially going into things like deadlifts. I've actually used it quite a bit with warming up for deadlifts and getting that explosion going. And then when I go over to the normal deadlifting bar, I actually feel a lot better. So really neat, versatile piece of equipment. A number of different handles that I can easily just pop out, quick change, pop right back in, and then I'm ready to train. So for younger athletes, and this is something I've actually used a little bit with my boys already, it's perfect because you're not gonna get hurt at all. You don't have to worry about the weight dropping if you get out of position, anything like that. So very versatile, very fun. Again, a really neat addition to the gym here, without a doubt. So let's go now. We'll go back around the power rack here. So coming around to the front of the power rack, this, as you can see, I've got my Beyond Power machine, which I've talked about before, so I won't go too in depth there. I've got all my arm wrestling handles on this table. This is where I do a lot of my kind of daily training for arm wrestling. I set up right here. I'm able to adjust my resistance and then change out the handles quickly. So this all stays here. I do have sitting right here the new Shaw Strength Edition Airwave mouthpiece. You guys have seen me over the years wear a mouthpiece. I'm a big proponent. This one is the best one that I've worn. It's low profile, easy to breathe. Airwave was actually here earlier doing a kind of photo and video shoot with me to promote this new mouthpiece. So if you are interested, if you're not wearing a mouthpiece, this is something you can put in, train the entire time. You don't have to always be taking it out. You know, some of the ones that I've worn in the past have been super bulky, and you need to take them out. You can't talk. It's you know, you're touching all the stuff in the gym. So that is incredible and will save your teeth and your performance will go up. So make sure to check that out. Right here, if you guys have watched in the past, I've talked about a Flex Fitness converging chest press that was my favorite. I sought out for years. I still own that. That actually got moved up to the mountains. This is the Iron Core, essentially upgraded, beefed up model of that. And so the neat part with this one that I really, really love is you can actually pull a pin in the back here. So I can pull that pin out and then I can go individual arms, which the old Flex Fitness didn't do that. You weren't able to go individual arms. So with the foot pegs, you're actually able to assist with the lift off, which is another really, really cool feature, especially when you go very heavy with this because you're starting basically bottom up with the movement. So being able to put your feet up there and assist with the movement, this thing is so bulletproof. Just one of those things that feels so good when you're using it. You know, it's essentially like the Rolls Royce of equipment right here. So this is, you know, it's something that I love without a doubt. Walking through here, you guys have seen this, my combo rack from Rogue Fitness. Got the fat pad, you know, a variety of different bars that I train with this as well. And then you'll notice loaded up here, and you're gonna see this throughout the gym, these York deep dish plates. We'll hit on those probably a couple different times. Those are my favorite plates of all time, and I've been able to add a number of different pairs of them to the gym, which is really incredible. Nothing like the sound of two of those plates coming together when you're training. So having those in the gym and being able to load them up when I train, it's special. There's just nothing else that I can say really other than it's just special and it's incredible. You know, in the history, I always love strength history. That is strength history, and I feel like you get a little bit of that energy when you train with these type of plates. We got the shoulder incline back here, which you guys have seen. I've had that. So you can go anywhere from a normal chest press all the way up to an incline press to a shoulder press, all with that machine. So when I didn't have as much space, that was a super versatile piece and still serves me very well right now. We got the standing chest press here. I did add a couple of these Flex Fitness weight trees. So again, you know, something that's, it's just, they're awesome. They're just awesome. And they're Flex Fitness. Again, when you're in the equipment game, you know what that means. This is the incline version of the Iron Core chest press. So it's an incline press. Again, you can go individual arms with this. Super smooth, super great feeling with this piece of equipment. You know, it's just fun to train with. It's fun to train with at the end of the day, which is great. So got some leg machines here. We got the standing calf raise, Flex Fitness seated leg press, lying leg curl, and then we've got the leg extension. On the leg extension, you'll notice the chains that are on here. This is something I just played around with, and it just makes the movement feel very, very good as you come up to the top. I tried it once, I liked it, and now the chains basically stay right there. Rogue Fitness Rhino belt squat. Great belt squat overall. This is a great piece of equipment. You can add arms onto here if you want to do the rack pull. So you guys will remember from my lifting career with Strongman, one of the accessory movements to deadlift that I did was a rack pull on a belt squat. So you're able to do this on here with a smaller footprint. That's incredible. Power Squat Pro back here. Again, this was custom made for me, which is awesome. So it pivots off of my hip. And that's, you know, again, this for squats, this for good mornings. You're just a great piece of equipment to be able to use. And then in the back here, we kind of have the array of different equipment. So you'll see the deadlift platform here, which used to sit in kind of the middle of the gym, has found its way over here to the corner. We've got the monolift. setup right there. I did add a sauna to the gym here. So this is a hot box sauna. So I'm able to heat this thing up, and then the lid comes back, and then I just basically crawl right in there. And then as soon as I crawl in, I close the lid up. I've got a little window on the side of it, and then I'm able to do my sauna, which I've typically been doing right after training. So that's been a fun addition to the gym as well. But a lot of just fun equipment. We do, obviously saw some strongman stuff in here, which is great to pull out and use. And then the other side of the gym, if we go over here, we've got some of my warm-up equipment, some of my recovery equipment, and then some of the cardio equipment actually. So the Rogue Echo bike, that's a butt kicker for sure. We've got a Concept 2 rower and ski erg. I've showed you guys this quite a bit. This is a Swiss wing, so this thing vibrates and oscillates. As you can see there, it's just, one of those things that's incredible. And I would say that I pretty much use this every single day as some type of warm-up or some type of self-massage work on myself. Power plate, again, incredible. And I would say I'm on this every single day. So I can hop on here easily, just get it going. And then I'm immediately, the vibration of this, it just wakes you up and it definitely gets you ready to go. But that's something I pretty much hop on every single day. This Spark, something I added, that is a true butt kicker for sure. And I probably should hop on there more if I'm being completely honest. Same way with the Woodway treadmill, again, back in the corner, but sometimes that incline walk-in, that type of stuff can really carry over. This piece is brand new. This is the new Soarin' X back attack. So if you guys have heard me talk about the back attack in the past, I had one, I used it throughout my career, absolutely incredible. I did not get rid of my original back attack that actually made its way up to the mountain gym. That's one piece I would have a very hard time letting go of just because of the history that I have with it and the time and miles, blood, sweat, and tears that I put in on that thing. But this is new. It's just built like a tank. I mean, you can see, and then we're loaded now on both sides with this. Back pad adjustments are a little bit different than the original, but this is something bulletproof, so posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings, lower back, just absolutely incredible piece of equipment. And for athletes, it's something that, man, this is something that if you're not training with this, if you're into any kind of strength sport, any type of athletic sport, and you're not using this, you are leaving gains on the table. And so I would just say that across the board, great piece of equipment. This I'm actually very excited about. This is the most recent addition to the gym, and this is a PowerNetics Bear Squat. So as you can see, the chain drive on here, big thick chain, and then you come in here and get underneath these pads, and then you lift it up and you just go right into a squat. Now, I do have plans to potentially modify this to make it fit me a little bit better and make it a little bit more user-friendly, potentially add kind of like a Viking press type of setup with this machine. Again, concept ideas, we'll see how that comes to life, but you also need to notice that it is loaded with more York deep dish plates. That fully loaded up with those plates looks pretty incredible. Definitely not gonna lie about that. And then this monster in the back, hammer strength H squat. This machine is something that I've wanted for a substantial amount of time. They did not make very many of these. And then for whatever reason, they didn't catch on super well. So a lot of colleges, this piece I was told came from Virginia Tech. So that's pretty cool. You see the orange pad. And then actually I was told this bear squat originally came from the Kansas City Chiefs weight room. So being a Broncos fan, I didn't know exactly how I felt about that, but still pretty cool to have the history of that. So this H squat machine, again, monster machine. I think the neatest part of this for me, so you actually climb up onto this machine here, and then what you would do is you would lay down and you press this foot plate out. The feel of this thing, it's very hard to describe. It is such a good feeling leg press. It's quite literally like unlike anything else out there, which is why I have it. And you know, I can see why some people in some gyms may be a little apprehensive about putting one in, because you go really hard on here, you kill your legs, and then you've got to climb down these steps. So there's definitely been times where I've been training on this thing and I've needed to take a little break before I climbed back down. But you know, again, a piece of strength history, really cool piece of equipment, and the feel of this thing is incredible. And I will say the view as well, from the top of that looking over the gym, that's been one of my favorite parts as well. So kind of wrapping up, finishing up here, I guess we didn't touch on these weights at the beginning, but like I said, the York deep dish plates, my favorite. I do have a couple pairs now of the marked plates, so you can see the difference there with the 45 on there. Those are definitely more rare, hard to find with that on there, but we've got, you know, some other York plates from the collection. This is a pretty cool display to finish up here and you know, kind of wrap up the gym tour. But this is my playground, right? I think that's the best way to really say it is, you know, I've started this all in my parents' garage, you know, kind of with goals and dreams and things I wanted to accomplish. And we've got to this point now where I'm able to really add some neat pieces to the gym. It makes training more fun for me, and it's something that I will quite literally do for my entire life. So we'll keep adding this. I've still got some stuff on the list. Don't tell my wife, but I've definitely got some stuff on the list to still add in here. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know, additions good, additions bad, or were there things that you were hoping would have stayed in here that have left? And like I said, if some stuff left, it might be in the mountain gym. Maybe at some point we'll have to do a tour up there as well. But I hope you guys are doing amazing. I really hope you enjoyed that. For now, go out and be great. We'll check you guys later.